it seems like they're really challenged by this idea of taking the right steps forward. Now, we saw that they feel like they should be honoring their commitment with the Knight of Pentacles because it seems like it's what's necessary. But they're challenged by the Knight of Swords. So we have the slowest knight in the Knight of Pentacles, and then we have the fastest knight in the Knight of Swords. They're really struggling with this idea of actually making something happen. There is a challenge here of, how do I create an energy that allows me to flourish without my person, but at the same time, I know that I need to get to them quickly in order to make these things happen. So it seems as if they've made like a connection here, that there's something that they're missing, but also they feel a bit of a disconnect in terms of the making it happen. They're seeing that there's a conundrum here. And I think that the next card that's coming up here can kind of explain that to us, because we have the Ten of Pentacles. And what this says is they have, I believe, been given a vision of what their future holds, but they have not been given the blueprint of how to make it happen. And I was only going to pull a couple cards here, but I'm going to tell you, seeing the Queen of Pentacles here is the proof, right? The proof is in the pudding. And what I think is here is Divine Masculine is starting to understand that they need the energy flow just to get to you, but also they are lacking the energy required to do that. So what I think you need to know here is that your person has reached a new level of understanding, but the one thing that they've been lacking in their life is now affecting their ability to make these things happen, okay? They have always struggled with producing the fruit, and you are quite the opposite, all right? You've always been the type of person to just make it happen. And I think that there's a little bit of struggle within them, and maybe even a desire for you to know that. Now, the truth is, if you've been dealing with an energy from a masculine like counterpart who hasn't really been stepping up to the plate, you might be like, I don't care what you need from me. I don't feel like I have to step up. I don't think it's my turn to make the move. But there may be some of you who are like, oh, that's fine. I just needed to know that they weren't going to push me away. You know what I mean? And I think in that case, you've got your message here. They need you and there's no other way. But for those of you who are like, you know what? I have to let them figure this out so that they can't blame me if things go wrong. I will tell you, this is such a beautiful way to unlock gifting, right? Like the magical, nourishing gifts that Divine has bestowed upon your person are probably what's going to be needed to make this miracle of movement, motion, and quick action happen. They're going to have to tap in to parts of themselves that they have been kind of ignoring or have said weren't really important or didn't even know were there. So I think either way, what you're meant to know is that your person is on their way, they're on their path, and it's really up to you how you want to proceed. But either way, whether it's requiring you to have a little bit more patience in person and dealing with them right away, or having a little bit of patience kind of in the distance in allowing them to get there together and actually like tap in, either way, you're good. You are this queen. Remember that. You are assured, certain, and you don't need to question if you've done something wrong, if you're the problem. I think that can happen along the way with people who are very self-aware and genuine and want to see movement where we're connected to somebody who isn't necessarily like that. So this is reassurance from Divine that your Divine Masculine's challenges, your divine partners, your person, the person that you deeply connect with, their problems are not your problems. There are things that they have to figure out on their own, and you are not the cause of any of that stuff. And it is totally okay for you to allow them to work through that stuff without thinking, oh no, there must be something I'm supposed to be doing. No, I think that you sitting pretty and being yourself and standing in your wisdom and your kind of confirmation of self is actually the most beautiful thing that you can do right now, because something about it is going to draw them in. All right, my dear, I hope this is a blessing to you. I will talk to you later. Love you. Peace.